line, with Joe Montana and John Taylor jabbing the Giants again, or with the New York defense and the Hawks ride through the defending champs. In Western New York, no defense was safe against the rampaging Buffalo Bills, who turned the Los Angeles Raiders every which way but loose to earn their first trip ever to the Super Bowl. 2 tickets to paradise available next on ESPN's NFL Primetime. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to championship game edition of ESPN's NFL Primetime. And, of course, as we discuss football, we, of course, are aware of the heightened tensions in the Middle East, the missile attacks on our bases in the country of Saudi Arabia. So it's with our hearts out to those young men and women that are, and elder men and women that are serving the United States abroad, that we divert a little bit and talk about football, but we, of course, keep it all in perspective. And joining me in those sentiments, Tom Jackson. Pete Axthelm is not feeling well this weekend, so we hope that he feels better soon. But Tommy and I will look at a couple of rather interesting games, 2 totally different ball games. The late game, history will not be made by the San Francisco 49ers. 5 field goals by the Giants' Matt Barr. And the Giants upset the San Francisco 49ers at Candlestick 15-13. We'll have highlights and comments on that game shortly. So, three-peat now will not happen by the defending champs now out, the San Francisco 49ers. Earlier in the day, much cooler climes, the Buffalo Bills. They had a chance the first year of the Super Bowl play to go on and represent the AFL in the Super Bowl. They hosted the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFL title game. They didn't win it. This is their first time hosting it since. Meanwhile, the team they played today, the LA Raiders, have been in 12 chances to make the Super Bowl. The Bills had never been to the Super Bowl, but boy, are they going now with a vengeance. Let's take a look at the action at Rich Stadium. A record crowd, over 80,300, saw no bowl for the Raiders. The red, white, and blue colors were out. American flags, the red, white, and blue of the Buffalo Bills. Right from the get-go, they won the toss and the game was over. Thurman Thomas from the shotgun for 15. No huddle offense, no backfield. Where is it? It's down there. It's Thermal for 13. 2 plays later, Kelly to, Thermal Thomas. Over the middle beats Tom Benson, a gain of 9. Defensive coordinator Dave Adolph said, this doesn't look good. He was right. 4 plays later from the 5, Kelly rolls out. Finds Andre Reed, touchdown. 5 yards, 7-0 Bills. But working his 9th and final championship game, Jim Tunney says, holding on Jim Richards. So, all right, then we'll throw a 13-yard touchdown, no problem. Kelly even fumbles the snap, eludes Greg Townsend, finds James Loft at 5 playoff games, 5 times in the end zone at least once, 7-0 Buffalo.
And the great thing about this play, Chris, is the presence of mind that Kelly has. Once he fumbles the ball, makes a tremendous pickup of the ball, then keeps his head up in order to find Lofton for the touchdown.
So the Raiders, Jay Schrader, down 7-0. How would they respond? Well, he's got a couple of good cold weather receivers like Swervin Mervin Fernandez out of the CFL. That picked up 26. On the next play, Schrader to the former Chicago Bear, Willie Gault. He of the bobsled, picked up a 24. 2 plays later on 3rd and 5, Schrader to Fernandez. He can't hold on. But the Raiders do answer with some points. Jeff Mick Jagger nails the field goal at 7-3, but if you're a Raider fan, that was it. Dave Adolph hopes the Raider defense can adjust. One thing they tried to do is Gary Lewis, put him in the nickel package, but it doesn't matter. Kelly, undaunted, the bomb to Lofton, 43-yard pickup. Tommy, the guy gets better. He's like fine wine.
And he did a tremendous job today fighting his way off the line of scrimmage, and then just watch the catch and enjoy it.
On the next play, Kelly finds no one open. He of the knee brace. Let it go for the first down. The Bills in business again. Next play, the draw to Thurman Thomas. 12 yards, touchdown. 14-3 Buffalo. It was not a good day for the Raiders.
Raiders get caught in a line stunt with Howie Long going inside. Thurman Thomas reads it perfectly and then accelerates to the end zone.
Speaking of Thurman Thomas, watch this. Are you kidding me? The one-handed grab and another first down. However, the Bills' drive is actually thwarted as Gary "This Diamond Ring" Lewis makes the interception right there. A golden opportunity for Schrader and the Raiders to get back in it. With about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, Schrader picked off by the unsung linebacker Darryl Talley. Once again, he's not in the Pro Bowl, but he's in the end zone for a touchdown. 12 minutes in, the game was over, 21-3, Buffalo. So Mike White trying to calm Schrader down on the phone. That's the quarterback coach, but it was a connection that was not good. Marcus Allen split wide. No, sir. As you see what happens here, he's just frustrated, Tom.
And Marcus Allen never got looked at by Schrader here, and you can see the frustration as the play ends.
You move Schrader's feet, he gets to be in trouble sometimes. Bruce Smith psyched for his namesake, Don Smith, but on the goal line, he's stopped. 11th play of this drive. Thurman Thomas is stopped. So on fourth down, never a question for Ted Marchibroda's offense. Kenneth Davis, first of his 3 touchdowns, 27-3. Rich Stadium going berserk. Art Shell knew what was going on. And if he didn't know then, it was convincing when Jamie Holland tried to return the kick, but Buffalo's Jamie was better. Jamie Mueller recovers it. The Bills, the knockout punch against Al Davis. Even though Norwood missed the field goal, they get it back. A Tasker. Steve Tasker catches the 44-yard bomb. Kenneth Davis with another touchdown. 34-3. We're still in the second quarter. You could feel momentum. The Raiders just had no shot. Picked off by Nate Odoms, and Odoms going to turn it into a nice return. While James Lofton had plenty to smile about today.
The Bills have developed a great knockout punch. His name is Lofton. Look at the strength as he leaves the line of scrimmage there, beating Washington for a big game.
So on the next play, you go to Lofton, 41-3 before the end of the half. For the Raiders, it was simply a very long day. Halftime stats, the score 41-3. The Bills almost 400 yards, the 41 points in the first half, the most ever in postseason play, the history of the NFL. Third quarter, more of the same. He goes deep and it's going to get picked off by Kelso. Kelso picks it off at the Buffalo 5. Another Raider threat. No, Leonard Smith with the pick. Fourth quarter, Schrader connects with Darryl Talley. Even Vince Evans came in and threw a pick to Alice Cooper's favorite, Ray Bentley. Jay for the day, a lot of hot air. 13 of 31 for $150 and 5 picks. For Lionel Washington, he can play some good corner, but Jamie Mueller, boom! That's the kind of day it was. 3 plays later, Kenneth Davis. Yeah, he scored 3 touchdowns. 48-3. Al Davis could only shake his head. No more bickering Bills. A year ago, those 2 men, Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly, were in his other throats. Today, they're smiling, laughing. And the man, the only man who's ever owned the Buffalo Bills, Ralph Wilson, finally gets his dream of the Super Bowl. Cornelius and Bruce, some dirty dancing. Jim Kelly lined up the coach for a little Buffalo shower. And the Bills lined up the Raiders to a 51-3 bashing at Rich Stadium, which is probably still flying, although the game was over about 4 hours ago. After the game, the no-huddle offense, which worked so well, Thurman Thomas talked about it.
We've been running the no-huddle for a long period of time now, and it was seen that their coaches would know that this is what got us here right now in the championship game, so they should have prepared for it.
I felt we were prepared. I felt we had good sessions. I felt we were mentally prepared to play the game, but you still got to come out and play. We just didn't do that today. We didn't play well enough to win the football game.
I thought I could throw the ball very well today. It's just one of those things where I tried to force some things. I didn't make some good throws here or there. Plus, they made some good plays here and there, and it just snowballed.
Teams get their chance, but 20 years down the road, they're not going to know who was. They'll say, "Oh, Buffalo was in it," but they're going to know who won it. So our goal is to win it, not just to show up.
I don't know how right now we could be as modest as we're going to be, but we really have to win the Super Bowl. That's the final goal.
2 playoff games, 95 points, 995 yards in total offense. I don't care if you like the Bills. I don't even care if you like football, Tom. If you follow sports, what you're seeing in this team right now are athletes reaching the pinnacle. They're reaching as far as their goals and their abilities can, and that's got to get you excited. They certainly are in Buffalo.
Chris, I don't know when I've seen an offense play better than the Buffalo Bills. You look at this team both running the ball and passing the ball. I think everything is initiated by the offensive line. We saw the numbers in the highlights. Thurman Thomas, 170 total yards at halftime. Jim Kelly throwing for almost 250 yards by halftime. And I don't know if this team can be stopped playing at the level that they're playing at now.
You know what it is, Tommy? The offense is arrogant in the way they go out and they do their business, but not in the way they deport themselves. Last year, they're a little more arrogant up here. This year, they're channeling that arrogance on the field, and you're seeing the result. Plus, their defense, with so many excellent players, finally put one together, only giving up the 3.
And one of those excellent players who I think never receives the recognition that he deserves, Darryl Talley. If you watch him play football and you don't recognize the fact that he's one of the best linebackers in this game, well, I know one of the teams that play next week, the Giants, will certainly know where he is when they snap the football.
They will have to know where he is. And the Raiders, hey, they got beaten very badly today, 51-3. But this was a team that hadn't been in the playoffs since '85. This was a proud team that made it to the Final Four. They made a large move this year. They should be proud of the job they did. They were just playing in Buffalo, where the Bills were 10-0 this season. Enough said. When we return, the upset at Candlestick Park. But first, the margin of victory today by the Bills, the 48 points, the 3rd highest in the history of the playoffs. We know the 73-0 game is the top. The Raiders defeated the Oilers at 69. The Bills defeated the Raiders, number 3 all time.
I am a car maker. Making cars friendlier to the environment is something I think about a lot.
One answer is more fuel-efficient cars.
We're also working on alternative fuels, like our Impact, designed to be the first really practical electric car with enough zip for the California freeways.
25 GM cars today put out the same amount of tailpipe emissions as one car from 1970. Now that's progress.
The Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. Venus de Milo lacks arms. Chickens have no lips. Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. So when it comes to refreshment, nothing's missing.
If you could reach into your TV, take the picture, and put it anywhere you want, you would discover the miracle of liquid crystal entertainment. The miracle of Sharp Vision. Sharp Vision's flat picture can be any size to fit any wall in any size room. Enjoy the crystal clear picture from any angle, and Sharp Vision disappears when not in use. Liquid Crystal Sharp Vision. Big screen entertainment designed for your home.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish my old partner was here tonight, because this used to be our song. I have everything.
All my dreams come true.
Eddie.
In my arms, stocks and bonds, and a home for two.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, even buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
NFL Primetime, brought to you by General Motors. GM is putting quality on the road. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. And by the Prudential, where we won't let you get it until you've got it.
In their famed Monday night game, if you have to remember our story from Candlestick Park between the Giants and the 49ers, the last line we said, as they waved goodbye, they said, "Don't you cry. We'll be back again someday." The Giants were back. They had never met the Niners at this stage in the playoffs for the right to go to the Super Bowl. They were 2-2 in the 80s in playoffs, but the stakes were even higher today. The colors, Phil Simms on the sidelines watching the Hawks would have about to play the game of his life because he was playing the master, Joe Montana, and the Niners offense. Opening drive, Montana to Tom Rathman for 7 yards. Then after they pick up a first down, Montana pumps, hits Brent Jones, the tight end, for 12 yards. 2nd and 6 from the 44, Montana to John Taylor on the slant. Is it a catch, a drop, or a fumble? Taylor working on Perry Williams, and it looks as if it falls out. They call for a review. A fumble, an incompletion. Jerry Markbright on the field try to solve it.
No replay was allowed on this play because the whistle sounded when the runner was down by contact.
What? Kofor hits a field goal. It's 3-0 San Francisco. Giants on the opening drive. Haas with time. Scrambles right, hits Mark Ingram for 20 yards. 1st and 10 at the 37. Hostetler, play action, which he ran very well. He played very confidently. Mark Bavaro, big weapon today, 7 yards. 1st and 10 at the 11. Let's get that little, make it throw the ball. Maurice Carthen drops it. Millen did a good job on the coverage, but Mo missed it.
Yeah, he had focused on the ball here, but he just did not look it in. Looked like he had his hands a little bit too close together.
Giants do get a field goal from Matt Barr. They're tied at 3. You talk about defense, Mark Ingram, meet Ronnie Lott. Montana to pass. Look at Gary Reasons to Believe, dropping Rathman for a 4-yard loss. Giants driving late 2nd. Haas to Bavaro, diving for the first down at 13 yards. 3rd and 9 from the 24. Haas to the end zone for Stephen Baker. But no, there's no way he was going to get in bounds. The throw was out of bounds, and so Matt Barr right down the pipe. 42 yards, 6-3 New York. The Niners defense keeping the Giants out of the end zone, but they're behind. Montana to Jerry Rice for 19 yards. 46 seconds to go, where, of course, Joe is at his most dangerous. He will scramble for 7. Timeout with 26 seconds to go. 3rd and 15. Montana to Roger Craig. With 8 seconds to go, they bring in Mike Kofor. 35-yard field goal. 6 quarters played at this point today by the 4 playoff teams. Only one team had scored a touchdown. The Bills were tied at 6. Big battle, though, in the second half. The bloodied hands. Montana to John Taylor. Everson Walls went for the pick, but John Taylor's going to get the 6. Montana to Taylor, the only touchdown the last time the teams met on the Monday night in Candlestick. Would that duo burn him again?
Great play by John Taylor. Everson Walls going for the interception. Once he missed it, it was over.
So 1st and 10, the Giants down by a touchdown. This is when you figure the Haas would get rattled, but he finds Mark Ingram for 20 yards. Redo that jingle. Mark Ingram, but on 3rd down at the 29. Haas pressured, dumps it to Meggett. He's dumped at the 28. Settle for a field goal. Parcells was down 13-9. 4th quarter, the Niners on a 3rd and 8. Montana incomplete, and as he tried to evade LT, Joe limped off. He beat Steve Wallace at LT, and LT kind of kicked him in the knee. Meanwhile, Hostetler, Jim Burt, who took Montana out of a playoff game 4 years ago, takes Hostetler out now that he's a Niner. Is Burt this time his replacement, former Niner Matt Cavanaugh. Somehow got the pass off, but at this point the Giants' fortunes did not look good. The Niners still nursing the lead. 3rd and 10. Leonard Marshall hits Montana from behind and causes a fumble, but Mark Collins can't get up with it. Steve Wallace falls on it, but Joe is dazed. The Haas comes back for Cavanaugh, though. 2nd and 7. Hostetler. Yeah, if it's mid-season, he's got a bad knee. It's the title game, it's fine. He runs for 6 yards. 3rd and 1. Michael Carter stuffs O.J. Anderson. It's on 4th down. No, it's not a Lindetta punt. Gary Reasons to Believe. I think they did this in a Super Bowl against Denver. It was Rutledge, then it's Reasons now. It's a 28-yard gain for a 1st down, setting up a 38-yard Matt Barr field goal. Good. 13-12 San Francisco. 5 minutes to go. Steve Young at the helm for the Niners now. Roger Craig has the ball popped by Eric Howard. LT snares it in midair, and it's Giants ball. 1st and 10 at the 42. Hostetler to Bavaro. Does he want this? He's a bull for 19 yards. Hostetler. On 2nd and 14, a 12-yarder to Baker with 1:10 to go. 3rd and 1, O.J. Anderson plows for 3 yards. Seifert. Parcells. No, they're going to come down to a final tick of the clock and a final field goal shot. So 4 for 5, Matt Barr. 42. It's going to fade. No, it's not. It's good. At the gun. 5 field goals for Barr. The Giants beat the Niners 15-13. And Matt Barr, who time after time was denied a shot at the Super Bowl by the Broncos when he kicked for the Cleveland Browns, now kicks the Giants into the Super Bowl. The Giants win 15-13. The first time a championship game has been won without a touchdown scored by the winner since the Rams beat Tampa Bay 9-0 in 1979, as it was in Game 1. Defense, defense, and more defense.
Well, for anybody who likes defense, this game was an absolute dream. And I'd like to take you off the field for a second and talk about perseverance. We were in a similar situation in Cleveland. Dennis Smith had given up a touchdown late in the football game. You have to just hang in there, hang in there. Everson Walls and the Giants went through that same thing today, and the way they hung in, they make any defensive player proud.
And for the Giants to defend that offense that well 2 games, need we say more about their defense?
I think that they certainly, you know, when you look at the Buffalo offense, they are going to be hard to stop. This may be the defense that can do it.
Well, they're the only ones that will have the opportunity because it'll be New York, New York in the Super Bowl. New York Giants, Buffalo Bills. When we come back, more.
Okay, here's some things I know for sure. Snakes can still bite you an hour or more after they're dead. A canoe will take you to places only a fish can get to. And this backpack is probably the best thing I ever got for free. Now, I've picked up a few things about hunting and fishing over the years, and most of what I picked up came straight out of the pages of Outdoor Life. Hunting, fishing, camping, special regional sections, equipment. This magazine gives me what I need to know, written by guys who know what they're talking about. I got 12 monthly issues of Outdoor Life for just $11.97. That's big money off the newsstand price, less than we spent on breakfast. And Outdoor Life threw in the backpack for free. And you know what? If you call their toll-free number right now, they'll do the same for you. A whole year of Outdoor Life at a great savings, plus the camouflage backpack free. Hey, beats a bite in the leg from a dead snake any day.
It's the biggest Big Monday ever. Syracuse battles arch rival Georgetown. Jim Jackson leads Ohio State against Indiana, and UNLV faces Cal Santa Barbara. Live Monday on ESPN.
So the Giants have upset the 49ers 15-13 at Candlestick Park. A large, large defensive effort really by both teams, but the Giants come out on top. The guy that knocked Joe Montana from the game and a guy that looked like his former self, Leonard Marshall, defensive end of New York, standing with our Mark Schwartz. Mark.
Thank you, Chris. Moments after this ball game, we're here at Candlestick Park with an emotional Leonard Marshall. And Leonard, congratulations, one whale of football.
I tell you, this was all about, training camps. Even though I missed it this year, the training camps, all the hard work, all the determination, all the effort that you put into the game, this is what it's all about, to have a shot to play for the World Championship. And right now, I can't even express how happy I am. How happy I am for our team, for our owner, for everybody. I'm happy, man.
Moments ago, I saw all your teammates jumping with joy, and you were kneeling in prayer, crying.
Not too many times in your career. I've been in this game for 8 years, and I've done just about all you can do as a defensive player. Go to Pro Bowl, win Defensive Lineman of the Year, whatever else. But this is what it's all about. When you get to the championship level, you have a chance to play for a title. There's not too many times that's going to come in your career. I know guys that played 13, 14 years and never got a chance to win a title. I got one ring and I won another one.
How big was the sack of Joe Montana in the fourth quarter to knock Joe out?
Well, it was an effort football player on my part, and, it was a big football game. You just have to rise to the occasion and play. Big-time players play well in big games, and, I want to be one of those guys that's counted for.
Leonard, good luck against Buffalo.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Leonard Marshall on his way to Tampa Bay. That's it from San Francisco. Now, Chris, back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. I want to correct something I said. Matt Barr, as a youngster a few years back in Super Bowl 14, did have a chance to kick for the Pittsburgh Steelers then. So he kicked, that was in the, the 79 season. Now 11 years later, he has a chance to go back as a member of the New York Giants. So the state of New York now grows palm trees and moves to Tampa for the week. We'll be back on NFL Primetime in a moment.
Who does the world's most fun cartoon character in a hot new 16-bit game? Who does Disney animation as only a 16-bit video game can? Does. Who gives you $30 cash back when you buy a new Sega Genesis system? Buy a Sega Genesis system now and get $30 cash back.
Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page guide to understanding money and markets. That's 13 weeks of the Journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, all for only $37, a 24% savings off the newsstand price. Call now toll-free 800-832-8700. That's 800-832-8700 for today's Wall Street Journal.
The Bills and the Giants headed to the Super Bowl. The Giants doing it within the last hour, defeating the 49ers. And obviously, head coach of the Giants, Bill Parcells, rather ecstatic.
Anytime you're able to accomplish what we did today on the road against an organization that I think all organizations in the National Football League aspire to emulate, you have to feel good. And I'm going to tell you guys, I feel great.
He should feel great. Now he plays the Bills, a team that beat them at the Meadowlands 17-13. That was the game that both Sims and Kelly were hurt back in December. Giants defense has their work cut out for them against Buffalo, Tommy.
Yeah, they do. I think it's a very interesting matchup. The Bills like to do so many things in the short zones with Lofton and Reed dragging across the middle. That responsibility will come on and fall on the shoulders of the linebackers. And the Giants obviously have an outstanding set. And by the way, LT will never make a bigger play than he made today.
No, I don't think so. And so the Giants, who have some Super Bowl rings, one of them back from 4 years ago, and the Buffalo Bills, who have not been there, will vie in the Silver Anniversary Super Bowl. We'll be back.